Anthony Tolliver played 14 years in the NBA, but this episode isn't really about basketball. It's about what he did with the money before the checks stopped.
Before you even start talking about how did you become successful or whatever, you need to clearly define what success means to you. With my first, $50,000 or so that I made playing basketball, before I did anything else, I actually bought an investment property. Most people buy a house or most people buy a car or something. I bought an investment property. I didn't know how long I was going to be able to play basketball, so I was like, well, at least if I buy a property, I can come across town and get a check every month, right? And that's where it started. I was signing 1-year deals. 1-year deal, you're guaranteed to get that money for that year. That's it. So any financial planning, any future planning, that does not include me making X, Y, and Z amount of money 2, 3, 4 years from now. Put it this way, we're making really good money. We're making really good money on these. We got an unsolicited offer for 3 parking lots for over $13 million.
For those of you who don't know, Anthony Tolliver, a 14-year NBA veteran. That is a long career, 14 years in the NBA. Entrepreneur and author. He co-authored Foundation for Financial Excellence, aiming to spread financial literacy and inspire others to chase their dreams. In real estate, Anthony's journey began in his hometown of Springfield, Missouri, leading to the creation of Say You Can LLC and Say You Can Development, focused on revitalizing both single and multifamily properties.
When I was 15, I went and got a job at Dairy Queen because I was like, I need some money.
Sure.
So I got a job at Dairy Queen, and I realized, wow, I am under their control. I don't have the ability to control anything in this environment. If I don't come to work when they tell me to come to work, I'm fired. I no longer have a job to produce. So clearly I was like, I need to start my own business. I need to do something for myself. And so I started a lawn mowing business, a car detailing business, and basically just a hustling business, and just started realizing that I could make more in 2 hours on a Saturday than I could in a whole week of working at Dairy Queen. And so once I got exposed to that, I was like, oh, well, I'm never having a job like that ever again. But also at a young age, my mom was a teacher for 31 years, never made, I don't think, more than $40,000 a year in her entire career. But growing up, ever since I can remember, we would, about every second or third of the month, hey, come and jump in the car. We're going to go across town. All right, cool. Go across town. We'll pull up to this same house. Pull up to the same house. She knocks on the door and they hand her a check. And we go to the bank, we cash it. And, she goes and pays some bills. She goes and whatever. And at first I was like, I thought that was normal. I thought everybody has a house across town that they go collect checks from. And that's what you do.
Everyone should. Everyone probably should have a house across town that they collect checks from.
Right. And so real estate became such a easy, not easy, but it just made sense because I saw it. I was able to see it, even though it was one unit, right? One house, but it was every month and it helped pay our bills. So it was something that I got exposed to at a young age, by my mom. And as I grew up, I was like, man, it's definitely something that I want to do. And so with my first, $50,000 or so that I made playing basketball, before I did anything else, I actually bought an investment property. It was the very first thing I bought. Most people buy a house or most people buy a car or something. I bought an investment property because I had no clue. I didn't know how long I was going to be able to play basketball. So I was like, well, at least if I buy a property, I can come across town and get a check every month, right? And that's where it started. I got out of college. I didn't get drafted. Got in the hard way, undrafted free agent. Fought my way into the league. Wow. But also the first 3 years I was in, then I got cut. Then I was in, then I got cut. And got cut. And I got cut. And I was in, I got cut. And it was just the back and forth between the NBA, the D League, which is now the G League, and then overseas. So I played in Germany and Turkey as well. In between time, right? It was like, hey, I'm just trying to make some money and get back so I can try to get back in the NBA. And so the first 3 years of my career were first 3 years, I think I played for a total of 10 teams or something like that.
So Anthony, tell us about that first property and then how that parlayed into kind of where you're at today with all these other investments and real estate that you own as well.
Yeah, 1544 South John. Still remember the address. Actually, still own it. Still one of the properties.
I was going to ask you that. Still own it. Cool.
Still own it. I don't have any plans of selling it. Honestly, it's more nostalgia than like, yeah, I make a couple bucks a month. Like it's nothing, right? But it's just more so. This is my first property, my first investment. I think I'm going to keep it. Probably hand it over to my kids at some point, just cause. Yeah, I would say like the majority of my thought process going through, okay, how am I going to do this? How am I going to figure out kind of the best strategies and everything else? The typical player get into the NBA or NFL or wherever, and you get a financial advisor, right? Like that's what you do. And majority of financial advisors, all they do is say, hey, send me all the money. You play your sport. I'll do everything financial. You don't have to worry about any of that. Just play basketball.
Charge you 1%, put it in an index fund. Right.
Right. So, which, hey, you know what? Like, I'm not against financial advisors. I have financial advisors, right? Like I followed the protocol. But what I realized, after a short period of time was the way that they do business, the way that they structure their stuff is really more geared towards people who make a little bit of money. I say a little bit, but like a maybe decent amount of money over a long period of time, right? A lot of their strategies and a lot of the things that they implement with their clients are really more geared for your typical, let's say, C-suite, CFO or whatever, making $150,000 a year.
Retire when you're 65.
Right, like the typical situation. And like if you look at the plans that they put together and the models that they put together, it's like those are typically for those people who make more medium or a little bit of money over a long period of time. Whereas obviously professional sports, professional athletes, we make a whole lot of money in a very short period of time. And what I realize is that that's more like the way that, my opinion, right, of the way that our portfolio should be matched should be more geared towards the way that billionaires or high net worth individuals construct their portfolios. So the way that I started constructing my portfolio was like about 60, 70% private equity, including real estate, right? And maybe 15, 20% in the markets and some in cash and some in some crypto and some in some other areas, right? But to me, that made more sense. On your question, staying disciplined, to me, it wasn't a choice. It was really just like, it was me understanding the reality of my situation. I knew that I was signing 1-year deals. 1-year deal, you're guaranteed to get that money for that year. That's it. So any financial planning, any future planning, that does not include me making X, Y, and Z amount of money 2, 3, 4 years from now, because that wasn't on the table. And so, it really kept me hungry. It really kept me disciplined on if I signed a 3 or 4 year deal, there would have been an increased chance of me maybe I will go buy that crazy car or whatever. But I think a part of what kept me disciplined was the fact that I was signing 1-year deals. I signed a couple 2-year deals, but the second year was non-guaranteed or partial guarantee, or it wasn't locked in. So I still had to go earn it. And so every single year, and I look back and I'm like, man, it would have been nice to sign a 3 or 4 year deal, but it would have changed me. I actually, I think it changes anybody in sports, right? I know that, Gabe, you don't watch a lot of sports. Travis, I don't know if you do or not, but in sports, if you follow any sport, let's say football or basketball, typically when somebody signs a big, crazy, fat deal, let's say 3, 4, 5 year deal, that first year, maybe even that second year, they'll probably play pretty decent, but it's not as good typically, right? They relax, right? It's because they're locked in. Like it's typical, it's normal. Just like being up 20 in a game, you're up 20. Typically teams come back from 20 because people relax when you're up 20.
You take the foot off the gas.
You take the foot off the gas, right? And so for me, my whole career, I was never able to take the foot off the gas. And so, and that also translated into me being a more prudent investor. And I made sure that every single time I got a check, I'm putting away 60, 70, 80% of that into something else. I wake up every single day and my mindset is to help other people. That is it. Like my family is financially secure. There's people like, oh, he can ride off into the sunset. Like I didn't make it. I made a lot of money compared to regular life. Like you can compare it to just like your typical world. Sure. But in the basketball world, I was poor. Yeah. Like extremely poor. Like I was bottom basement, low class, right? But what I did was I just never allowed any of that stuff, the environment I was in, to affect my normal, right? So when you talk about the cars and the clothes and all that stuff, like that's awesome for you guys. This is so dope. Like I love that shirt that you have on. It costs $3,000. I would never buy a $3,000 shirt. That's me. Like even if I had $1 billion, I'm not buying a $3,000 shirt because that's just not me. So just seeing it all, experiencing all, it actually helped me to realize that's not what I want. And so, getting out of the NBA, having a good nest egg, having a nice portfolio, having cash flow, being in a position where we are financially free. So for me, it's like, okay, well, how can I continue to, push, right? Because I'm not your guy that's just going to go sit on a beach and retire ever. Like I'm going to be 80 years old. I'm still going to be like, what's the next deal we're going to be looking at, right? Like, because that's just who I am.
How you're wired.
It's how I'm wired. I love doing deals. Doesn't mean I'm going to just go do deals and be stupid, right? But I just love the game. I love to create. And really that's what it is. It's creation. I love creation. And so to be able to go out into the world and create. And for me now, like I said, it's to try to create for the people around me, my assistant, my family, my friends, the people I want to see succeed. Like I'm doing all these different things so that we can build something that can help them. It's so build something so big that it spills over. And then all of a sudden they're like, wow, like this is amazing. One thing that Travis, you brought up earlier was my faith. And that is something that's super important to me, that I wear on my sleeve, that I'm super open about and very vocal about, because it's something that in order to do life for me, that's been a requirement. Like I just haven't had the opportunity. I would have not been able to go through the adversity I've gone through, through professional sports, through losing my mom at an early age, through some of the things that have happened in business or whatever, without just a steadfast faith. Number one. Number two, just accepting my role. That was the biggest thing that I was able to bring to a team, and it kept me getting jobs. Every single team I was on, I got a role from that coach, and sometimes it changed, but for the most part, like I got a reputation and I filled a role. And over time, like even back in college, like I would always look forward. I would always say, well, if I'm in high school, what I need to do to work, what I need to work on to get to college, or what do I need to do to play in college? And so I'd work on those things in high school, because I know if I'm working like I'm a college player in high school, then high school is going to be easy, right? High school is going to be, oh, well, if I'm working out like I need to be working out in college, I'm going to kill these guys in high school, right? Well, Same thing is when I got to college, I started thinking like, well, how can I start preparing for the NBA? How can I start preparing for professional basketball? Because if I prepare like that, then college is going to be easy, right? But what I realized in college, by that time, I realized there's physical limitations, right? Gabe, you talked about it. Travis, you talked about, you guys are short.
That's what the NBA told me. Physical limitations.
There's physical limitations. Like I'm LeBron. Me and LeBron James are about the same height, but we do not have the same attributes.
Never heard of the guy.
Yeah. He's a decent basketball player, but we have very similar height, length, but athleticism and strength and speed and everything. Like he hit the lottery, the gene lottery, right?
He's a freak of nature. Yeah,
absolutely. But I didn't really realize that wasn't really going to be possible until about college, where I was like, oh, this is not just about work. This is about like what God gives you and then what you do with it, right? Like that is it, right? That is the whole entire piece of the puzzle. If God didn't give you enough, it doesn't matter how hard you work. Like, it's just not going to work out. But if God gives you a certain amount and then you maximize that with your work, well, then you're going to maximize yourself. So then I started realizing in college, my goal is not to be LeBron or to be whoever. It is to be the best Anthony Tolliver I can possibly be. That was my entire focus, right?
You went niche, which is like in business, you say go niche or go broke. And you figured out where you could provide value, and you focused, you stayed in your lane. Man, what a cool parallel.
Yeah. How I was going to ask very similar, like, how did that transition into the business world? Because you've mentioned a couple of times, business is a game. Like, how have you taken that kind of that same mindset and action into the business world? Have you niched down there as well?
So across the board, really, a couple niches that we've had a lot of success in. So one is senior living, or actually independent living, not senior living. So, there's a lot of senior living, there's a lot of nursing homes, there's a lot of all that stuff. Well, one of our development mentors, he kind of found this niche in the independent living. So it was 55 and older, but they don't need the extra care. They don't need the extra, services or whatever. But it was kind of like this luxury independent living. And so we dove into that. We did a few developments in that space and had a lot of success. Done really well with that space, in that space. Another is truck parking, right? Which is kind of like, it's real estate because we're buying land and we're turning it into semi-truck parking lots. So the deal I was referencing earlier.
Man, if that isn't niche, by the way.
I can't believe we've never talked about that before, because I had this like 1 acre flat gravel lot that I basically got free with the mobile home park that I purchased. And that's where my brain went. I was like, semi trucks to park here would be great, but right now it's sitting empty. So I'd love to talk to you more about that offline.
Yeah, so we have 3 units. We have 2 in Jacksonville, 1 in Kansas City. And our goal was several years ago to grow, to have 10, 12, 15 of these things. But then I think other people found out about this space. and people with deeper pockets too. So we just really wish we could have capitalized on it about 5 years ago, because people were just, it's all mom and pop, and there was no real industry yet.
Anthony, what are people paying to park semis?
So a nightly could be anywhere from 70 to, it depends on the market. Sure. It really depends on the market. But put it this way, we're making really good money. Yeah. We're making really good money on these. We got an unsolicited offer for 3 parking lots for over $13 million.
Wow.
So we have a fully autonomous system that we built from scratch because nobody else had done it. But that's really where the value is coming from. The lots are cash flowing and they do well, but the people who are trying to buy it, they're really trying to buy the system that we created. My advice for success, it is hard work, consistency equals success. And that's it, right? And success is also its own thing. It's its own definition. Everybody has their own definition of success. So if your success is being a billionaire, I couldn't just say hard work plus consistency equals success, because even if you're the hardest worker in the room and you do it every single day, there's no guarantee you're going to be a billionaire. But to me, success is maximizing you, right? It's maximizing whatever you are capable of doing. And some people are built to absolutely crush it. And if they work hard and they're consistent with it, they're going to be massively successful. And that could be in a financial way. But some people aren't, right? Some people don't have the capacity, and that's fine. But somebody else's success could be hard work, consistency equals success. They have a 9-to-5 job. They take care of their family. They have a healthy relationship with their wife and their kids. That is success. Before you even start talking about how did you become successful or whatever, you need to clearly define what success means to you. And then, hey, you go for it, right? It's hard work, consistency, and that's going to give you the best chances of being successful.